Dude, I haven't popped off like that. I don't know when's the last time. Dude, I popped off. I popped off so hard. Oh, like, yes! Yes, I got it to work! Yeah! Oh my god, I got it to work! And I found A5 in the other, and Margaret's. I found A5. Is Majikoi related? Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am so freaking happy! Yeah, yeah, I'm so happy. Yay. Oh my god, you don't know how happy I am, man. Dude, it's so rare. I feel like it feels rare for me to feel genuine joy. Damn, man, I still like Majikoi, bro. I still like Majikoi. That's what it is. I still like Majikoi. Oh, that is code. Damn. Oh, let me had to scan that shit. Make sure. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it still works. Magical! Yay! Oh, I'm so happy! Damn, we're gonna play Magical after fucking Mihoyo. Oh, fuck! Oh my god, I hope there's no porn anywhere. I didn't watch this. Please don't have any hentai. A1. Oh my god. Oh my god, please no porn in the opening. If there's porn in the opening, I might have to fucking delete the VODs already. Damn cookie! Yeah, Stacy! Woo! Woo! Damn! A5. Yo, she's Sune. I didn't play A5 yet. Margaret and the other girl. Yay! Majikoi! Majikoi! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Got a translation! Oh my god! Oh, big guy! Woo! Majide! Majide! Watashi no koshinasai! One more time! Oh my god! I love this anime! This anime is good. Damn, man. Damn, dude. Yoshitsune versus her? And then you can beg her later! Damn! What the hell? Damn, dude. This is the goated fucking series. God damn! So good. Damn, dude, everybody. Dude, the A series. Is the A series better than the main series? Yes, maybe. I don't know. Main series pretty good. But, damn, but, Cookie. Lee and Stacy is pretty god tier. Tsubame is really good too. I like Tsubame. I forgot her name. She's pretty good too. She's okay. Yoshitsune, we haven't messed with Yoshitsune and Margaret yet. Damn, but Margaret though, I forgot her. Damn, everybody. Oh, oh, Lee. Koshinasai! Majide! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Oh my god! I got it to work! Yeah! Oh! Hold on, we gotta make sure. Just make it work one more time. One more time, please. Please, 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 please. Can I get it to work while streaming? Or do I have to do some bullshit? Visual novel. Japanese. Oh yes! Oh yes! Oh yeah! Oh fucking yes! Oh dude! I'm fucking ready, dude. When I'm beating Mahoyo, we're going straight to Majikoi. Oh. You can watch this one more time, I guess. Damn! Does it go straight into the visual novel? Or I don't know. I like all of them, I guess. They're all pretty good. I like her a lot. She's okay, I like her too. That's Ilya voice actress. I like Cookie. I like all of them. They're all good. Damn, my girl's Stacy! Stacy! Did you see Stacy? Fucking curling a dumbbell. She's hot. Stacy's too hot. Damn, Yoshi. Damn, Marco with 2 eyes! Oh! Yeah! Oh! What? You, oh. Hey, she. Yeah. Tones in. Oh! Mabashi. Mashi nan desu. Yay! Yay! Yeah!
マジで我に恋しなさい。A プラスリスク。
It fucking works! Woo! Yeah! Fuck yeah! I'm so fucking happy, dude. Oh my god, I don't know where to click. I don't know which one has hentai on it. Oh! It works! Yeah! Damn, dude. Does it has everybody? This route only has 4 routes, right? Oh, man. God damn, dude. What a fucking... This has been a 10-year journey for me. Pretty much, right? A 10-year journey of Machi fucking Koi! Woo! Let's go to the end! Yeah! I gotta download 2 more visual novels. I need 5 and Margaret Ever After. And then we're playing A+. Oh man, I'm so excited to play this again. Oh man! Best girls back to back, Benkei and Momo! Oh! 2016 is when it came out. What a fucking error, right? What an error. An era of Majikoi. Damn. What a good series.
出た IS 参上です。
Oh my
終了したあ
god!
なたにスマイルをお届けに来ましたよ。
It's Cookie. Oh, one more time. Oh, this song.
私から見れば後輩、お兄ちゃんと呼んでも一向に構わないのだぞ。
I don't know how to. How do you repeat?
ゲゲ、キモいこと言わないでほしいものですね。
年下に馴染まれるのもまた一興か。
Oh man, what a fucking game, dude! I'm so happy. Oh man, I can't wait to play that. I can't wait to play that once it's all over. All right, once Mihoyo is over. Damn, Majide. Dude, I got tears in my eye. I'm so happy. I've never been so happy. Damn, Machikoi. Give me the classic, please. Yes. Oh man, Majikoi! Majikoi! Maji de watashi no koisha nasai. Oh man, what a good fucking series! Oh man. It almost makes me not want to play Mohoyo. Almost. But I gotta finish it. Because if I start Majikoi, I'm never going back. Oh man, I gotta download the rest. I'm so happy at least I got the A disc. I got the A disc. Oh man. Dun, 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 dun. Oh man, what a good series. So happy. So happy. These other sex games. Look at this shit. Train 45. Succubus Successor. What's the other one? Summer. Is that a sex game? That's a sex game. Summer at Smile Cafe. All those can go fuck themselves. A real fucking eroge. Like Majikoi. Oh, Majikoi. Oh, fuck. Why is this so fucking good? That doesn't make sense. Oh, man. I fucking love Majikoi. Alright, let's play Witch of the Holy Night, though. Damn. So good. So fucking good. Damn, dude, I wish I can revisit it. I guess I can. I can watch my own playthrough again. Just to remember. Oh, man. Oh man, oh my god. Is that something about Majikoi? I don't know what it is. It's so good. It's so happy. No super sad stuff. Like a little bit of drama. But it's like just straight happy, dude. How did they do that? How did they make such a goat slice of life? Damn. I don't know. Majikoi. Alright. Let's play. Let us play. Alright, what up, what up? Man, that was so good. I definitely miss Majikoi. Yeah, there's something about visual novels in general. That one, that still has a really good sound to my ear. The Type Moon. Dang, and then Majikoi. Oh man, I was just looking at that earlier. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Majikoi. I can't wait to get back into it. But let's continue. Witch on the Holy Night. Like a dog. And I probably want to buff up this. 39. Chapter 6. He was still in deep sleep. It all seemed ablaze in a mad, fiery red. Unbearable, idle thoughts. Incessant obstinacy. Melancholy sights and gloomy. Bittersweet talk. Fickle wickedness, born of human interaction. Namely, the voice of a forsaken coexistence. This, however, was the scenery of a world far removed from that. If there were those praying this was paradise, then there were likely also those lamenting as the underworld. In a decade, or perhaps longer, this would all change. But for now, the autumn leaves remain yet untrampled by human souls. It was a scenery he knew well. Life in the mountains was humble and modest. There were no conspicuous buildings among the wilderness he called home. They gathered and stockpiled only what they needed to survive, without pillaging the land. Serpentine trails could be seen woven through the fields, and the stone steps leading to the summit were obscured by the forest, only visible once upon them. The mountain's inhabitants probably intended in that way. There was no sign of mankind's exploitation among the mountain landscape. He suddenly remembered that this was the season he liked the most. Or rather, it suited him the most. There was much to be done to prepare for winter, but whenever he had a free moment, he would make his way toward the mountaintop, gazing idly at the setting sun while breathing deep the crisp autumn air was probably the second favorite of his daily joys. This is probably one of my favorite OST for Mihoyo. This song right here. It relaxed him. The cold, but comforting wind at dusk. And the way the sunset dyed the peaks a vibrant crimson. Not 2 months had passed since coming down from the mountains, and already it pained that the memories had begun to fade. Someone once told him that memories fade every day, so the best one do is make as many new ones as possible. Recollections grew hazy. A new place to live meant the beginning of a new life. He wasn't sure if he was reluctant to go of the scenery he cherished for so long, or if he merely been spoiled by it. Despite his new home in a city surrounded by tall buildings, he felt guilty for wanting those memories alone to remain clear in his mind. Either way, he had to make the best of a fresh start. What kind of man thinks more about where he came from than where he's going, he contemplated.
そうか。これ、夢だ。
He tried to stop himself from indulging in uncharacteristic sentimentality. It wouldn't be a dream if it was easy to understand. The moment he realized he was dreaming, angular shadows began to rise from the autumn colors. There were concrete buildings previously unknown and yet familiar to him at the same time. This was how his current life was washing away his memories. Struggle as he might, there was no stopping the degradation of human memory or impressions. It was merely a fact of life. By nature, humans live in the present over the past. Eventually, even his most cherished memories would be swallowed up in the buildings. It was neither cruel nor heartless. It was, if they were sure to disappear, then for now, he would content himself with dreaming about the memories he could clearly recall. Whether in the mountains or the city, the days flew by. Yesterday's scenery was not the same as today. As such, she had given him no time to grieve. Distant nostalgia was beautiful, but that made it fleeting.
土産入道じゃないんだぞ、青崎。
A faint dizziness made him close his eyes. Without sight, the mountainous landscape vanished, but in its place, a familiar voice could be heard. It was a booming voice that seemed to shake not only the mountainside he stood upon, but the entire mountain as well. And of course, Aoko Aozaki reappeared, towering in the distance. He must have been tired, he thought, diagnosing himself while trying to make out what she was saying. Fearing the vertigo would return if he reopened his eyes, he decided to keep them closed. It sounded like she was arguing with someone, though the tone was all he could make out. It wasn't violent, but certainly aggressive. Maybe she was picking a fight with another mountain across the way. He wouldn't put it past her. After all, she was a troublemaker who blew up the moon. He couldn't quite grasp the conversation, though somehow, vaguely, he had the same sense that his human rights were being largely ignored. It was deeply unsettling, even for a dream. After several minutes, it seemed the high-impact argument ended in Aoko victory. Then suddenly, the boisterous voice faded. Praying everything would be back to normal, he opened his eyes. He took a deep, slow breath. The scenery was a far cry from a nostalgic dreamscape He had just left, albeit not unpleasant either. Without a doubt, it was the amusement park. To him, he was his freshest memory. He recalled the house of mirrors that Ako Aozaki destroyed. This park was a flawless replica of reality, but he was the only one there. Without having to worry about anyone chasing him, he sat down on the wreckage of Kitsy rides and looked up at the moon that should have been shot down. The winter moon shone white like a jewel. It was laid over the figure of the girl who tried to kill him. If a mage was a witch, she definitely fit the bill. I don't mind being killed. Such an absurd thing to say, but it spilled out of him so naturally.
いやでも
That had nothing to do with witches or magecraft. There was an echo in the gaps of his heart. If she had not spoken those words, then he would not have responded as he did. In that moment, what had Ako Aozaki said to him? As he tried to remember, his sleep slumber drew to an end, and with it, his chance to find the answers he so wished he could find. Then, Sojiro woke up in an unfamiliar room, gasping. Not because the plush mattress he was on was softer than his apartment cheap futon, but because everything from the carpet to the wallpaper looked expensive. Alice! Bewildered, he tried to catch his breath. She was the cause of his surprise. The moment Sojiro's eyes snapped open, there she was, the girl dressed in black, sitting at his bedside. The silence was deafening. Still, supine on the bed, Sojiro gazed at her. His impulse was to sit up, but he refrained, thinking it might be rude to be staring at the person sitting next to him. She was just sitting there, on a chair, dressed in black, modest clothes. Still, she projected an air that was anything but plain. Her monochrome outfit evoked indescribable elegance, like a costume handmade just for her, from the finest fabrics. It was enough to inspire poetic sentiments even in Sojiro. The girl continued to sit, completely motionless. Without realizing it, Sojiro had stopped breathing. Genuine astonishment had him captivated. Such beauty. It was the first time he had thought to use such a simple, plain expression to describe another human being. She was a daffodil in perfect bloom, or the ideal female form only seen in dreams. Damn, ideal! Hold on, let me read all the comments. Damn, Alice is that beautiful. Alright. She's that beautiful. This quality was something to be cherished and admired in her. It was different from Ako Aozaki's blindingly radiant vitality. After all, the flame that burned twice as bright burned half as long. And there was no way this girl would be allowed such a happy ending. Her life was a solitary fable, of someone who left the world in exactly the same way to enter it. With her humanity stolen at birth, hers was an existence not of this world. The more beautiful something was, the more tragic its fate. Growing up in the mountains, this was not something Sojiro was taught, but something he learned from experience.
眠ってるみたいだ
Sojiro turned his head, as though he was being lured in. He knew it was rude to stare, but he couldn't fight his instincts. Then, this time, his heart actually skipped a beat. She was not asleep at all. Expressionless, she was merely watching over him while he recovered. Sojiro froze, unable to turn his head away or think of something clever to say. It was like staring into her eyes turned him to stone. Perhaps because of her delicate features, she looked somewhat younger than him. On the other hand, her tranquil expression made him feel like she was older. Jet black hair, just to her shoulders. Her large eyes were set like onyx stones, matching her hair. Devoid of emotion, her gaze stayed fixed on Sojiro. Even after their eyes met, she did not turn away. He wanted to speak, but could not find the words. It was not unlike a frog being stared down by a snake. Nevertheless, he just could not bring himself to say anything. Additionally, no matter how carefree Sojiro might have been, he was painfully aware that this girl was as powerful as Aoko. Less talkative, to be sure, but still powerful. Objectively, the scene was not unlike that of someone nursing a bedridden stranger. He had no idea what she may have been thinking about, but it seemed to him this harsh silence might last forever. All he could say for sure was that the quiet did not appear to bother her in the slightest. It was like some bizarre form of punishment.
これが青崎の仕込みなら手が込みすぎる。
He thought, keeping his eyes on the girl. He felt like the moment he turned his head or blinked, she might stab him in the chest with a hidden blade. And not because his imagination was running away with him. In his stifling silence, it was only natural that Sojiro would think back on what had happened in the amusement park and made him uneasy. Hey yo, spoilers. You haven't played this far yet? What's up, Purple Twig? I mean, you had a day to read it, bro. I hadn't even played at all last week, so you just didn't play for like a week. But stronger than any anxiety was his fascination with the girl. Her slender frame and milky white skin, the chill of her guarded stare, the warmth of her lingering femininity. Yeah, basically. Was busy? Yeah. That's life. Life always catch you off guard. Get busy a lot. It was a mixture of those two latter qualities that was almost magical. He stared at her for so long, he began to get the feeling that they had met somewhere before. Sometimes before the conflict at Kitsuland. He could not quite put his finger on it, but he was sure he had seen her previously.
その今更だけど
His voice shattered the frozen silence in the room. He almost felt sorry for making noise as he spoke out to her. But they could not very well just sit and stare at each other forever. Though he might have been the only one thinking that they were staring, perhaps she thought they were glaring at each other.
ここはどこで君は誰だかわかるかな
She narrowed her eyes slightly, though apparently not out of offense. There was no response. Just as he was thinking it would have been better to keep quiet, she quietly raised her hand.
これあなたのでしょ
Her voice was cold but melodic. A white piece of cloth was wrapped in her fingers. I'm not gonna lie. I think I like Alice more than Aoko already. I know I like Aoko because she's, she's one of Type Moon main girls, right? You always see Aoko everywhere. But I don't know, there's something about Alice. Alice is pretty good. There was no need to tell him what it was. Aoko got issues, to be fair. Young Aoko got issues. She kind of solved them when she gets older. But young Aoko versus Alice. Come on, right? Alice? I think Alice got the upper hand. I like Alice a lot. He was conscious enough to recognize her own possessions. Honestly, this character archetype is not that common too. I guess you can call it Kuderit. Like you call it Sunderit, Yanderit, Kuderit. So Kuderit is the code type, right? But also kind of reminds me of Hisue. I think that's why I like Alice a lot. She kind of reminds me of Hisue from Tsukihime. It's probably the cut, the haircut, and the personality. She reminds me of Hisue. And I really, really like Hisue. I like Hisue Kawaku a lot. He was conscious enough to recognize his own possessions. Soshiro sat speechless as she tossed it to him. Picking it up, he wrapped it up around his neck.
青子はそれを知っているの？
He looked away in response to her blunt question, distracted by something unrelated. He called Aoko Aozaki by her given name, which led him to believe that the mountain Aoko had argued with in his dream was actually the girl beside him.
さあ、どうだろ
As sincerely as he could, he answered without presumption. There are things that should be known and things that need not be. There are also things that should be told and other things that must not be. Soshiro was not exactly sure what that was she was referring to, but
う。でも、その方がいいとは思うよ。
he smiled slightly at her question. Perhaps impressed by his response, the overwhelming pressure in the room dissipated noticeably. Or maybe she had been more nervous than he was the entire time, projecting the image of that his room was her domain a tad too strongly. The tension faded. Soshiro tried to sit up and prop his arms beneath him. Not that they were talking, it seemed awkward to stay lying down. However, his body felt strange as he tried to move, and it surprised him how difficult it was to sit up. It took everything he had just to raise his upper body to a sitting position.
あれ、洋服のまんまだ。
As he threw the covers back, he tilted his head quizzically.
申し訳ない。こんないい布団なのに、これじゃ不釣り合いだ。というよりもったいない。
She stared at him, not expecting him to complain about not wearing pajamas while sleeping. Somehow, it appeared that he had done something to surprise her.
なんでだ。何もしてないぞ、俺。
Pouting a bit at the unwarranted curiosity, he turned to face her. Although he was still mostly laying down, it was at least a more dignified position.
それで、さっきの続きだけど。
Indeed, he needed to find out where he was and who she was before anything else. Actually, the more he thought about what happened at the amusement park, the more he got a sinking feeling in his stomach. Perhaps finally getting through to her, she calmly moved her arm from behind her back when... Once again, they silently locked eyes. There was a startling sound of rapidly approaching footsteps. They both had a pretty good idea of who it was. Aoko.
アリス、約束。
Just as expected, Aoko Aozaki burst through the door with a thunderous roar. She entered wearing her school uniform, her long hair flowing behind her. Her breathing was heavy and her forehead was wrinkled by a scowl, granting her a demonic appearance.
アリス。
The girl named Alice scowled slightly in response. She may have even let a sigh of disappointment slip out.
早かったわね、青子。
Her calm voice was the polar opposite of Aoko's. Needless to say, her voice dripped with her brazen coldness.
そりゃあんたの性格は知り抜いてるからね。こういう時の短絡思考はこの2年で経験済みよ。お行儀がいいようで面倒になったらあっさり投げ捨てるのがあんたでしょ。いやね、人聞きの悪い。
Effortlessly, she brushed aside Aoko's jab. In doing so, Soshiro had a distinct impression that she no longer even realized he was in the room.
はっ、それで今日まで何度煮え湯を飲まされたことか。青子に譲ると言ったけど、よく考えると面倒だから私の方で処理しておいたわ。なんて言い訳、もう聞き飽きたっつーの。
Aoko thought Alice was going to kill him.
短期なのはそっちの自由だけど、それなら後の始末は相方に任せるのが最低限の筋ってもんじゃないの。そうね。そうでなければ共闘している意味がないわ。まあ、今後の方針を勝手に決めた人のセリフじゃないとは思うけど。それもきっちり型をつけたでしょ。 いい？勝ったのは私たちよ。逃げ切れば見逃してあげるって言ったのは誰？言動には責任を持ちなさい、アリス。それとも何？もしかして一番気に食わないのはそのあたりの理由なわけ？
Alice frowned slightly and fell silent. Her housemate seemed to have struck a nerve that Alice herself did not know was there.
とにかくこいつの扱いはちゃんと目が覚めて本人の意思でどうするか決めるまで保留ってことで合意したでしょ。人の留守中に出し抜くのはやめてよね。それ、青子、学校はどうしたの？まだ正午になったばかりなのに。アリスのとこが今日で終わりって思い出して家庭の事情ってことで早退したのよ。期末試験前だってのにほんと何やってんだか。
Akko grumbled, more to herself than anyone else in the room. Then she locked eyes with Alice. Or more accurately, they glared a dagger at each other. The room had become tense once again, and it felt like a fight could break out at any moment. With no way to escape, Sojiro had no choice but to sit and watch. But then, the electric silence that seemed like it would last forever suddenly broke about a minute later. Apparently, this sort of clash was an everyday occurrence.
私は今に言っているから、彼に事情を説明してあげて。
Alice stood up from the chair and made for the door. Watching her go, Sojiro cocked his head. In her hand was what could only be described as...
果物ナイフ。
Oh, she really was trying to kill Sojiro. He had no other words to describe the tool she was clutching.
アリス、あえて聞くけど、その手に持ってるの何？
Akko asked Alice as she walked past.
探検ね。どう見ても。
Alice answered expressionlessly, before briskly walking out of the room.
お
Sojiro thought it was best not to think too deeply about the scene he had just witnessed. Then she would have killed him if Akko didn't show up. I still would like to see what she would try to do. At any rate, the girl in black had withdrawn, along with her feelings of tension. Oh, she would have killed him if he stayed sleeping. I see. Okay. Leaving a bedridden Sojiro alone with an Akko still dressed for school. From Sojiro's perspective, this was the perfect chance to get answers to his ever-growing list of questions.
わけのわからないことだらけだ、青崎。
でしょうね。順序立てて説明してあげるから、ちょっと黙ってて。顔の麻痺も取れてるし、呼吸も再開と。これならもう安心かな。
She nodded, satisfied, and she took a seat.
どう？調子は。
なんか、だるい。
He answered meekly, dropping his shoulders. He opened and closed his left hand a few times, but moving his fingers felt slow and awkward. It was clear that he was still in bad shape. Meanwhile, Akko was blinking her eyes in wonder. Or was it in admiration? Between Alice and Akko, Sojiro did not know which of the girls was the harder to read.
体が重いのは当然よ。丸2日経ってるし、寝てるだけでも体は弱ってるだろうし。でも、もう話せるくらい回復してるとは思わなかった。あんたって見かけより頑丈にできてるのね。
ん？ 2日って？
あれからそれだけ経ってるの。学校には欠席届出しといたから、その点は安心して。ガンドの呪いもダンプティの呪いも、私とアリスとで解除しといたから。
And Dumpty poem. Oh, so that's what the Humpty Dumpty egg does. It cursed him. Sojiro nodded at the word curse, as if recalling it suddenly. It was all coming back to him now.
どうかした？そんな遠い目しちゃって。
ああ、忘れてた。それで2日も寝込んでたのか。怖いもんだな、呪われるってことは。
ほんと緊張感ないわね、あんた。牢のように眠ってたのが嘘みたいよ。下手すると一生あのまま石膏もどきだったかもしれないのに。
ちょっと待った。今すごいこと言わなかったか？
言ったけど、聞かぬが花よ。 経緯はどうあれ、後でアリスにお礼を言っときなさい。私じゃ解除できなかったんだから。
ひどい花もあったもんだ。あ、けどアリスっていうのはさっきの子か？遊園地で俺たちを殺そうとした？
Akko replied that it
彼
was.
女ずっとそこに座ってたけど、ここは彼女の部屋なのか？
Sojiro scanned the room again. He was not accustomed to sleeping on anything other than a futon. The room looked especially foreign to him.
うん、ここはただの客室。長いこと使ってなかったから埃だらけでしょ。それよりアリスと何か話したの？
いや、あれを会話というのはちょっと。
He brought his hand to his mouth and recalled a few words they exchanged. As Sojiro said, calling it a conversation would be a gross overstatement. And yet, thinking back on it, it seemed like they talked for hours, which brought an uncomfortable smile to his face.
とはいえ、緊張は解けたと思うよ。青崎がやってくるのがもう少し遅かったらよかったのに。
Akko narrowed her eyes at his innocent slip of tongue. She knew Sojiro did not mean to treat her like a nuisance, but nevertheless, he found it hard to take the full brunt of the words said to her face. Even worse, she sensed that she's getting used to his manner of speaking.
でも、だからなのかもね。相変わらず首の皮一枚の人生を送ってるわ、あなたって。
He tilted his head, clearly confused.
だから、あんたはよっぽどアリス好みの対応をしたのよ。まだ生きてるってそういうこと。
No matter how hard he tried, he could not grasp what she was getting at. He decided to change the subject to something else.
ところで、ここはどこなんだ？あの子に聞いても教えてくれなかったけど、青崎なら教えてくれるだろ？
ここは三崎町の幽霊屋敷よ。
Misaki.
正確には久遠寺邸と言えばいいかしらね。
Dang man, Misaki Town, no longer a Tsukihime setting. It's now a Mohoyo setting.
さっきの子、久遠寺アリスの持ち家で私が住んでるところでもある。あの後あなたをここまで持ってきたんだけど、覚えてないでしょ？
Hey, does that mean Koma moved too? They moved the entire Tsukihime slash Melty Blood verse to somewhere else. That means Koma gotta go to another mountain. Yeah, that's alright. Something about the way she said that made him feel uncomfortable.
久遠寺っていう名前は聞き覚えがあるような。そうだ、よく商店街でおじさんたちが話してた。なんでも偉いお金持ちだとかなんとか。
Kowanji. Kowanji. She turned him into a mini fig.
それ、アリスの前ではご法度よ。穏便にここで暮らしたいならね。
Confused yet again, Sojiro tilted his head for what seemed like the 100th time that day. And once again, he had heard something to make him feel uneasy.
青崎、君今なんて言った？
しずきくん、私ね、あからさまな嘘を言う人と同じことを何度も言わせる人と察しの悪い人には容赦しないから。
Okay.
そのあたり覚えておいてね。ここで平穏に暮らしたいなら。
With her best smile, Akko made her threatening proclamation. What did she say? You live here? Oh, she's letting him live here. Needless to say, it caught Sojiro completely off guard.
気のせいならいいんだけど、君の言葉には俺がここに住むような響きが感じられる。
He shot her an honest stare of disapproval. It was the best resistance he could muster. It was not in the slightest effective against Akko's overpowering, ruthless glare.
あなた、自分の立場を分かってる？
You wonder what the fuck happened to Akko to turn her current version to that from Tsukihime? Well, you gotta realize the one in Tsukihime, she's like 40 or 50 almost. So it's been like 30 years or something like that. Kinda. 20 or 30 years. That's a lot of time. People change a lot. And even just 5 years. He considered her words carefully. But I think if I want to give like my best guess, she mainly changed because of Alice and Sojiro. The ending of Mihoyo is what you'll know why she changed so much. He wanted to openly express his feelings on the matter, but instead he swallowed his words and shook his hand. Is that long ago? Yes. Here, I could look it up again. They keep changing her age. In the old Melty Blood, excuse me, in the old Tsukihime, she wasn't that old, but they made her older. Cause I think this technically take place in the 80s. And they move up the Tsukihime verse to 2010-ish. What's this anime called? Tsukihime Ako. First protagonist. Let's see. Oh. What about let's see. Tsukihime. There we go. She's 42. She's 42. Yeah, she's 42. Okay. They made her way older. See, she was like 27 in the old Tsukihime. But then they made her fucking 42. Because why not? Fuck it. She's 42 in the remake. In Clock Tower. What's Clock Tower 2015 again? Oh, that's just a short story. Alright. Oh, this one, Fate Grand Order never occurred. Oh, shit. That sounds kind of cool, actually. Yeah. Physically 20. Yeah. I thought she's like, yeah. She just looks young. But she's, mentally... She's, her real age, like, she's like 40. Was it 43? I forgot. Some shit like that. Despite his typical inability to read people's emotion, he's at least seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. It appeared that he had finally realized that it was his carefree mood that typically got on Ako nerves.
ああ、そうだった。あんたに回りくどいこと言っても無駄だったのよね。いいわ。考える時間ぐらいあげたかったけど、時間もないし、はっきりと言ってあげる。いい？しずきくん。この度、あなたは私たちの監視下に置かれることになりました。しばらくはここで一緒に暮らしてもらいます。
He cannot go back to his normal life.
もちろん、生殺与奪の権利はこちらにあるという条件で。
Damn, that's kind of fucked up. So that means he's like, no matter what, his life is over, right? His life is over. His life belongs to Ako forever, no matter what. That's what she's saying.
No.
The blatant tyranny in her voice caused him to sputter. He wished that she would stop smiling in an attempt to make it seem any less outrageous.
一緒に住むって青崎とか？
It was not the faint expectation of living under the same roof with Ako that had him flustered. Rather, he was genuinely concerned about his own safety. You don't like Ako? Yeah, young Ako. Young Ako is very, very different from older Ako. Older Ako is way better when she's 40. That's because she's mature. She's mature. She learned her lessons. She's nicer. All that. She's more goofy. Young Ako, she's kind of a bitch. Not gonna sweet talk it. Yeah, she's a little bit of a bitch. Not even a little bit. She's kind of a bitch. He was genuinely concerned about his own safety. Regardless of how good-natured he was, he seemed he finally had come to grips with the fact that he just escaped death.
とんでもない。冬眠前の熊と一緒に暖を取るようなもんだ。
She's probably the angriest protagonist Natsu made, right? compared to even Tosaka. Tosaka wasn't this tsundere, whoever you want to call it. I mean, she was kinda, but there's something different about Tosaka that I really like. Ako agreed, as more a comparison as it was.
たまには的確な比喩をするじゃない。あなたの言う通り、下手なことをしたり決まりを破ったりしたら、今度こそ息の根止めるからね。
Maybe Tosaka was more tolerable because Shiro was a dumbass. I think, well, Sojiro is a dumbass too, but in a more innocent way. Shiro wasn't raised in the mountains. That motherfucker had common sense. But he does stuff that makes Tosaka pissed off, and that kind of warrants her being pissed off. Ako don't really have a warrant. I mean, I guess she could find Sojiro annoying, but I mean, it's kind of hard to be mad at Sojiro, at least from a player perspective. Like Tosaka, you can kind of understand why she's pissed off at Shiro. Shiro is fucking insane, but you can't be pissed off at Sojiro. So I guess that kind of balanced it out with that, right? Because the main character deserved to get shit on sometimes. At least with Fate Stay Night, with Tosaka and Shiro relationship. But with Ako and Sojiro doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't have a valid reason. I mean, she kind of does. Being like, imagine like Sojiro. I don't know. I can't defend her. It's kind of hard. Yeah, she's kind of a bully. Yeah, let's just sum it up. Yeah, she's kind of a bully. But she stopped being a bully though. After this game. After the game. But probably not in this game. She's gonna be a bully. But I'm glad you figured it out, make one wrong move, and break a rule and not end you for real this time.
それと、ここに住んでるのは私とアリスの2人だけよ。あの子、私なんかより数倍常識ないから。気をつけないと死んじゃうぞ。
Ako was 100% serious. It was her sincerity that made it all the more believable.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was no way the victim Sojiro could accept these
待って
terms.
くれ。俺にはちっとも青崎がわからない。監視するって言うけど、なんでそんな話になってるんだ？考えられる範囲、悪いこととかしてないし、そもそも俺を見張っても得なことなんて一個もないし、
Then he lost
青
his
崎はいろい
freedom.
ろ間違ってる。
No more freedom, Sojiro.
それとも魔術師っていうのは、みんな青崎みたいなのか。
Arrogant and selfish were the words that the harmless boy gaze seemed to imply. Ako felt a headache coming on. Due to his innate easygoing persona, Sojiro had not thought to question that Ako being a mage was out of the ordinary.
だからあんたがそういう風に誰はばかることなく私たちのことを言いふらさないかを見張ってんじゃないこの常識なし。
She just want to control him? Ako flew out of her chair. She had been doing her best to keep her cool, but it seemed her well of patience had finally run dry. Witnessing Ako snap, Sojiro clapped his hands together.
そうか。青崎が俺を殺そうとしたのは魔術師であることを隠さなくちゃいけないからだったっけ？うん、それならわかる。監視するのは青崎の秘密のことで、俺の命云々はおまけみたいなものか。
そりゃ本質的に言えばそうだけど身も蓋もないわねその言い方。
けどそれはあまり意味がないんじゃないか？学校もあるしバイトだってあるんだ。
Damn, no more work.
一日中この家から出ないわけにはいかないんだぞ。
In an instant, Sojiro objectively had her stumped, leaving her at a loss for words. He honestly had no idea what position he was in. To believe that he had any sort of freedom at this point was shocking, to say the least.
いや落ち着け私話が早くなってある意味助かるし。
Ako somehow managed to compose herself. Is that why this chapter is called Dog? That's what Sojiro is. He's Ako Dog. I think Ako is for a certain type of audience. I just noticed. maybe Nasu want to make her a certain type of audience. I see. Sojiro is her dog now. As a matter of fact, she never had any intention of imprisoning him. Stripping him of his freedom and incarcerating him would go against their agreement anyway. Besides, if she was going to go that far, it would be easier to just kill him. To Ako, letting him live meant showing a modicum of respect to Sojiro's way of life.
もしかしてこの部屋から出ちゃいけないのか俺。
A light bulb went on his hood as he blurted out what he was thinking. It appeared he had finally got the grim message. Ako looked somewhat satisfied at his dismay.
大丈夫よ。監禁生活なんて面倒なことだけはしないから。あなたの自由はそれなりに考慮してあります。そのあたりのさじ加減はアリスの手腕に任せてあるから。あなたは心配しなくていいわ。
A gloomy look fell over Sojiro's face as he found his concern growing by the second.
いい。あなたの処遇はこの家に住むことを前提にした監視で、それも解決策が見つかるまでの期間限定。何でもいいから目撃者を殺すなんてことより、こっちの方がよっぽど穏便でしょ。だいたいこれは私とあなたとの約束なんだから、いちいち文句言わないでよね。ただでさえアリスとの冷戦が続いてて頭痛いんだから。
She sighed as she stared Sojiro down as he lay on the bed.
けど勘違いはしないで。ここじゃあんたの地位は最下層のさらに下。
Even lower than
バ
a
ーキャより
dog.
下なんだから。あんたの生殺与奪はあの夜から私が握ってるんだから。あんたは私に所有されてるようなもんなの。
You know, Sojiro kind of saved your life, Ako. Can't you be a little bit, just a little bit nicer? I mean, just a little bit, right? You didn't have to say he was lower than a dog. It's kind of fucked up.
これで自分の立場分かった。
Okay. As Ako finished her declaration, Sojiro subtly looked up at the ceiling so she would not notice his reaction. He meant no offense to Ako, but he had to hide the fact that he fundamentally disagreed with her analogy. Which is normal, right? Who the fuck would agree that they're lower than a dog? That's fucked up. I mean, dogs are awesome, but come on, man. In Sojiro's opinion, it was disrespectful to dogs and humans to call him lower than a dog. A more accurate analogy of their power dynamic would be that of a rabbit and a wild boar, hence why he chose not to voice his opinion. Unlike his apartment, the ceiling here was decorated with ornate patterns. Putting aside how he would be treated here, in terms of lodging, it was a definite upgrade. Maybe it would not be all that bad. Sojiro nodded slowly as if to persuade himself. And
とりあえず命は助けてあげるから。
that is what she had told him, not 2 days ago.
あまり納得したくないけど、自分の立場は分かったよ。うん。確かにそんな約束だった。いろいろと言いたいことはあるけど、それは認めるしかない。
Nice.
だけど、君たちと一緒に住めっていうのは本気なのか？青崎は細かいことは気にしないとしても、さっきの子は嫌がりそうだし。
At that point, he zipped his lips. Ako's eyes were tinged with bloodlust.
あら、しずきくんはご不満？
He contrived smile. Her contrived smile, so obviously forced, stuck the spur into Sojiro's heart. Come to think of it, he vaguely recalled her warning to him to not make her repeat herself. Furthermore, as about to go matter, Sojiro's Suzuki life was now in the hands of Ako Aozaki. It would be unwise to anger her further, he told himself as if speaking to a third person.
いや、別に。だってそれ以外ないんだろ。
None, said Ako with a firm nod in her head. Sojiro slumped his shoulder and surrendered.
うん。青崎の言い分は分かった。ただ、一応聞いておきたいんだけど、俺の人権はどこに行ってしまったんだろう。
Okay.
バカね。そんな形のないものなんて初めからあるわけないでしょ。つまんないこと言わないでよ。
Sojiro reflected upon her answer, not feeling like his question was indeed stupid. He should have already known the answer before he asked. Oh.
ああ、だと思った。そんな気はしてたんだ。目が覚める前から。
Damn, he basically died at the amusement park. His life is over.
Hmm?
His muttering provoked a dubious stare from Ako before she quickly retracted it. If she questioned every little thing he said, he would be there until sundown.
とにかく納得いったみたいね。
Says you do. The constellation says you do.
じゃあ次、いよいよ本題。今に移動するわよ。説明しなくちゃいけないことが山ほどあるんだから。
I don't even know if it's the same in Japan. I mean, companies, the way the companies treat their employees. I don't even know human rights is a thing in Japan sometimes. It's kind of fucked up.
一人で立てる？
さっきから手を動かしてたから血は巡ってる。歩くぐらいならいけそうだ。
Where did he learn the concept of human rights in a way? Oh yeah, the Zeus came from the mountains. That's true. We never knew. They might talk about it later in the visual novel. They never talk about who he lived in the mountains with. Obviously, he couldn't live there by himself. He must have lived there with somebody.
そう、なら問題ないわね。
With that, she turned her back and walked away from him. He had seen this bold form of hers many times before. Instantly, the memory flashed back to him like lightning.
そうだった。青崎はこういうやつだった。
Without knowing it, he cracked a smile. He was so lost that he did not know his left from his right, but recalling this alone was enough to calm him. The Ako he knew was different from the one in the House of Mirrors. She was not that brooding girl he saw there. He felt a pang of nostalgia. The Ako he knew was brisk in movement and unfaltering in gaze, just like this one. She was the same as when he first met her, moody, yet overflowing with confidence, in her element.
ほら、急いだ急いだ。アリスがさっきから居間でお待ちかねよ。
He was already outside the door, standing in a chilly corridor.
寝たきりの辛さを知らないだろう、青崎は。
Damn, this dude didn't shower for 2 days, and he wore the same clothes that he was sweating profusely in. Alright. Grunting and groaning, Sojiro eventually got to his feet. His body, heavy and stiff while he was lying down, cried out in pain as he tried to stand and walk. Every step sent shooting pains through his bones. Despite this, he put on a calm face and made his way toward Ako. Typically, he was quick to not pay any mind to life's little struggles, but these pains, he needed to force himself to consciously ignore them. In other words, he was displaying false bravado, an uncharacteristic reaction for someone who never suppressed their true feelings.
驚いた。あんた本当にタフね。
ありがとう。けど心は弱いんだ。
そう。参考までに心に留めておくわ。できるだけ優しく扱えるようにね。
I mean, she already called him like less than a dog, so. Naturally, her voice was devoid of any true empathy. She turned away from the once more dejected Sojiro and began walking briskly down the corridor.
と。
Just then, she stopped. Feet snapped together as though something had popped into her head. And just as she was remembering something she had forgotten, in a completely trivial way.
それじゃあ行くわよ。ついてきて、Sojiro.
Sojiro. She gallantly turned back the way she was heading, the words sounding so natural as she spoke them. Is that his first name? Sojiro. So his first name is Sojiro and last name Suzuki. Okay, that's cool. Ako did not see the look in Sojiro's eyes as he heard her own words. For though she worked in the arcane, the spell Ako had woven was apparent to everyone but her. After blinking his eyes as if blinded by something, Sojiro casually nodded and followed behind her. I think that's when he started to like Ako, right? When she said his name. That's cool. We never saw his eyes though, they hide it. The sheer size of the interior was daunting. The 3 floors of this mansion contained more rooms than Sojiro's entire apartment building. Except their size was excessive. Here, the mansion rooms seemed too numerous for so few inhabitants. Its lavish carpeted halls cold and dreary. The guest room that Sojiro had been sleeping in was on the second floor of the east wing. The staircase leading down the first floor was the end of the corridor, at the center of the mansion. Winter sunlight beamed through the windows, which only made the empty corridor appear even lonelier. The center of the mansion was topped by a vaulted skylight overlooking the first floor. The staircase connecting the first and second floors lined its walls. Another staircase at the end of the second floor corridor presumably led to an attic, or storeroom of sorts of the third floor. Paying no mind to Sojiro gawking, Ako descended the stairs with the familiar steps. I walked in a mansion one time. It was a really big ass mansion. Dude, it fucking sucks to live in a mansion. I'm a fat dude, I'm not gonna lie. And my legs aren't that good. Walking those fucking stairs at the mansion suck ass. Walking around the mansion is tough. I'm like, holy fuck. How do anyone live in a mansion? This shit's huge. Oh my god, I need a wheelchair. The foyer was a place of white and wood grain. Its hardwood floor shone brightly under the sun coming in from the ceiling, and the tall white walls were spotless and brawny. There was a staircase leading to the second floor, and a long unused fireplace. A neglected telephone sat on the table, opposite a solemn grandfather clock. It was more like an old castle than a mansion. Ako shot Sojiro a careless stare, who stood captivated by the otherworldly scenery. Bro, this reminds me when the elevator was out and he used to drag groceries up 10 flights of stairs. Damn, you had to drag groceries 10 flights of stairs? That's a big ass apartment he lived in. Shit was fucked up and your mom will always send me? That's tough.
今はこっちよ。ぼさっとしない。
I don't even know if I'll make it 10 steps. I said 10 steps, 10 floors. Oh man. I wouldn't even make it past floor 3. I can do 2 floors. I know that for sure. 3 floors. A single floor. But it was on the 10th floor. What the fuck? 10th floor? What the fuck? She grabbed the knob of the door next to the stairs. That sucks for you. There were 4 doors to the foyer, and the easternmost as you entered the house led to the drawing room. The door on the opposite side of the foyer led to the mansion west wing. To the south was the entrance. On the north side was one more door next to the fireplace. Tucked underneath the stairs, the door connected to a bathroom unbeknownst to Sojiro. 10th floor is pretty tame. You're about to move to this apartment on the 32nd. Elevators work there though. At least the elevator works. That's good. Due to the lack of windows, the first floor corridors were not well lit. But the second floor was a seldom attended infirmary, and the foyer a stairwell, and some foreign castle. Then the first floor corridor was a windowless labyrinth, not unlike the corridor of a hotel. Although it had not been long since Sojiro came to the city, even he could feel this place was out of the ordinary. Seeing as how he was going to be stuck here for the foreseeable future, he found it hard to get excited about living in a haunted mansion.
そこが今で奥が厨房ね。簡単な料理ぐらいはできるようになってるから。今の隣にはサンルームがあるんだけど、ここが食卓の代わり。ってそんなの後でいっか。
Mako said, reaching for a door along the dim corridor. However, she paused before turning the knob. She flashed Sojiro a meaningful glance, which she quickly withdrew. Then, without further ado, she opened the door. Can he go to work or school or nah? Probably to school, not work probably, but school, yeah.
お待たせ。
Nice
承
Sony
諾したわ
TV.
よ、あいつ。
she said to Alice as she entered the drawing room. After hesitating for a moment, Sojiro entered after her. Compared to the corridor, the drawing room was unexpectedly modern. The carpeted floor, leather sofas, and a large 30-inch television were more of what Sojiro had come to expect in a normal home. Damn, dude, 30-inch TV. Alright. In this family-oriented room, a girl far removed from said setting sat quietly on the sofa. Ako sat on the sofa across from the girl in all black. She gave Sojiro 2 seating options. Next to Ako, Aozaki. Or next to Alice, Koanji. Damn, what he's gonna choose? There's only 2 seats? Well, just no third option? Well, you gotta sit next to Ako. She saved your life. Kinda. After about 2 seconds of deliberation, he decided to stand by the wall as neither option appealed. Damn, he's gonna stand. Alright. Ako and Alice were facing each other across a coffee table. The clean, perfectly level table somehow added to the austere atmosphere.
当事者も認めたことだし、これで何の問題もないわね、アリス。
Alice gave one deep nod in response to her non-question. From its position against the wall, they looked as though they were clearing up some, niggling grievance. Sojiro got the feeling that the two did not entirely see eye to eye concerning what to do with him.
そうね。原因も究明しないといけないし。
She cast a sideways look at Sojiro with those darkly shaded eyes of hers. Her voice shared the same cold indifference, making it abundantly clear she had no intention of accepting him as a housemate.
けれど、あなたはそれでいいの？遊園地でのことを忘れてはいないでしょ？
Alice's voice was a mixture of judgment and scrutiny. She was aware from an outsider perspective that Ako and her appeared dangerous. She wanted to know if Sojiro was up to the challenge of living with such people.
そりゃ夢だと思い込みたいけど、ちゃんと覚えてるし。
Above all else, it was the only way they would let him live. Alice responded apathetically with a non-committal murmur. She silently placed a small object on the table with a clink. She pulled her pale fingers away from the small glass bottle. The glass, more pale blue than transparent, was enough to signify its high quality. With a crane-like motion, she removed the stopper. Even though this was the first time she had seen such a thing, something made him uneasy. Was it that it made him sad, or... Ako's standoffish behavior only added to his concern. Alice once again fixed her eyes on Sojiro, who was bracing himself for the worst. The glint in her eyes was bewitching. And with not a single emotion apparent on her face, she called his name.
しずきくん。
はい。
Did she trap them in the bottle? The moment he responded to her whisper called, his surrounding began to transform. The air grew thick, so thick, it took on a color and shape. The density and discomfort that coiled around his skin made it seem like the air has become words. Opening his mouth to gasp for air, the words invaded his lungs. Instinctively, he covered his mouth with his right hand and clutched his chest with his left, both hands appearing clear as mud. Even the thickest of mountain fogs never seized his senses like this. If he had come up with an analogy, no words could quite describe it, but it was like he was standing in the page of a newspaper. The first sense to adjust to this new sensation was his hearing. Then his breathing stabilized, yet the feeling of suffocation remained. There was nothing restraining him that he could see. but he felt an intense claustrophobia. Before he felt shock at the sudden change, he reached out in an attempt to find an escape. Oh, look, it's Alice. You can see Alice. Oh, is that Akko? Never mind, that's Akko in the blue right there. But his outstretched hands found only emptiness. He seemed contradictory. That a place, fuck, I'm cold. That a place with no walls and a wide view could feel so cramped. Just want to lower the air. Okay, I lowered the air. It was too cold. Spirited away in the dense fog. Back in the mountains, such superstition never seemed real to him until now. And then, oh look, it's Alice to the right, Akko to the left. He finally noticed. A surprise to be all surprises. The drawing room had not changed into another world at all. He knew this for certain because he could still see the room he was just in through the fog, as well as the two girls, Akko Aozaki and Alice Kuwanji, watching him closely. It was simply a problem of perspective. The floor was dark and perfectly flat. Looking up, there the two of them stood. The two girls were like non-impossibly gargantuan clouds, coldly looking down at him. Remembering the structure of the room and the layout of the furniture, Sojiro, unsurpassed candor, finally grasped his predicament. The parade of the amusement park had nothing on this. Somehow, he was inside the glass bottle that Alice Kuwanji produced only moments ago.
図らずも
Marveling at Alice's wickedness, Akko glanced at the small bottle on the table.
2日前の夜と同じ状況になったわね。今回そいつは起きてるけど。
Akko calmly mused. Alice, however, was not looking down at the bottle. Instead, her eyes were locked on Akko.
意外ね。青子は怒ると思ってたのに。いや、私も似たようなこと考えてたから。
Okay.
少しは魔術ってもんを思い知らせておかないと困るでしょ。アリスがやってくれるなら止めはしないし、怒りもしないわ。ま、こっちが予定していたものより何倍もめちゃくちゃだけど。
Akko did not take her eyes off the bottle as she spoke. Although she did her best to feign indifference toward Alice Magegraph, she could not completely hide her curiosity. The figure inside the bottle, likely having caught on to what was happening, tried various things like flailing its arm and sprinting around. The surface of the bottle was cloudy, so it's hard to make out exactly what was happening inside.
ところで、これって私にくれたやつとは別物みたいだけど。あれより作りは細かいわ。青子にあげたのは使い捨ての、隔離するだけのものよ。これはお互いの声も聞こえるから。へえ。けど、その割には何の反応もないわね。青子には聞こえないだけよ。
Alice said calmly, finally dropping her gaze to the bottle. Just then, the figure inside stopped moving. It appeared only Alice had a connection to the world inside the bottle.
なんだ、術者にしか特典はないんだ。
Akko sighed, losing interest. Ignoring Akko, Alice opened her mouth as if to speak to someone not altogether there.
どう？これでも一番無難だと思う。
The person she was talking to was none other than the one inside the bottle. She was, of course, referring to Sojiro' earlier comment. It was her way of testing the boy, who implied that living in this mansion seemed safe.
いきなり小瓶に閉じ込めて聞き返すあたり、容赦ないというか。この子の洋館への執着も問題よね。
Then again, considering Akko had invited the witness to a house, of mirrors for the fight to the death, she was in no position to criticize. She would make sure Alice did not let her emotions get the best of her. But for now, she was content to observe as a bystander. After a moment, Alex's expression changed. She almost got an answer to her question. Without any way to tell what the situation was inside the bottle, Akko had no idea what his answer was, however. Only that Alice's face was the one she had made when the boy she was talking to said what she wanted to hear.
私が言えることでもないけど。
For an instant, she glanced at Aoko. Slightly shaking her head, she reached for the small bottle.
ほんと、物好きね、しずきくんは。
She said his name, with what seemed like a forlorn frown. As soon as she removed the stopper, the air in the room quivered. The boy, who had been casting a shadow on the wall until a minute ago, now leaned against it for support again. Ako turned around to face Sojiro right behind her, resting her elbow over the back of the sofa.
どう気分は。
見ての通り、めちゃくちゃだ。
Sojiro answered with unusual hostility. Ako was reminded of his strange behavior, and she was sure that he would be scared or shocked, not angry.
夢で似たようなものを見てなかったら、今頃心臓が止まってたところだ。そこはついてたと思う。信じられないのは、なんでいちいち実践するかってことだ。魔術は怖いものなんだって言えば済むだろうに。それと、物騒な青崎の声、聞こえてたぞ。
物騒で悪うございました。けど、言葉じゃなくてきちんと実感してもらいたかったのは本当よ。どう？魔術ってもんを甘く見てたでしょ、宗十郎。
As much as he hated to admit it, she was right. Though it was not that he had taken magecraft lightly, but merely that he couldn't understand
け
it.
ど、実感うんぬん言われても困る。これまでの青崎の無茶っぷりと、今のわけのわからなさはとても比べられない。
そりゃそうよ。アリスと比べないでよね。アリスの魔術は私たちの中でもデタラメで、もう言葉にできないぐらい最悪なんだって言ったでしょ。失礼ね。人命を脅かすという点なら、青子の方がよっぽどひどいと思うけど。それよりあなた、本当に彼を殺す気はあったの？一体どんな追い詰め方をすれば、青崎なら多分安全なんて言葉が返ってくるのかしらね。そんなのはあったに決まってるでしょ。こいつが何て言ったか知らないけど、絶対意味違うから。こいつはね、そもそも何が危ないのかやけどするまで気づかない。っていうか、やけどしても、よし、死ななきゃ安いなんて本気で思っちゃう天然ボケなの。
Oh, I can kind of imagine what he said to Alice. He probably said, when Alice asked him, you still think it's the safest option? And then he probably said yes because Akko is here. That's probably what he
そうで
said.
しょ、宗十郎。
He feels safe because Akko is here.
Eh?
He had no idea why she was suddenly shouting, but he nodded anyway just to be safe. The drawing room had become awfully noisy. Alice sat watching the two at a complete loss. And so Sojiro accepted his supervised life in the mansion, that he would be living under the same roof as two professional mages. Having experienced firsthand how dangerous that life could get, he was finally at peace with the situation.
まあ、そういうことなら。
Even if he did not seem like it, he had thought it through his own way and come to a clear resolution.
それじゃあ、やっと本題に入れるわね。監視するとは言ったけど、どうやって宗十郎を監視するのか。そもそも、あなたを監視する原因になった魔術とは何なのか。そのあたり、ざざっと説明させてもらうわ。
Perhaps he was brought up to listen closely to lectures about new information because Sojiro suddenly looked attentive. Alice, on the other hand, kept her mouth shut in silent defiance.
最初に言っておくと、あんたをここに住まわせる期限は決まってるから。要はその期限まで誰にも私たちのことを喋らず、また勝手に死ななければ晴れて自由の身ってこと。
Oh.
ね、そうよね、アリス。そうね。私たちを怒らせなければ、そういう可能性もあるわね。
Okay.
よし、いきなり話が食い違ってる。
Sojiro's head dropped, like he knew what was coming.
ちょっと黙ってて、アリス。 あとあんたも黙ってろ。
She scowled at the two of them, already at her wit's end.
話を続けるけど、秘密保持のためにあんたを住まわせる場合、二次災害はどうしても避けられない。同じ家にいる以上、余計に秘密を見せることになるからね。アリスはそれが嫌なんだろうけど。
Now that Akko mentioned it, Soshiro could see her point. With a target of observation under house arrest, the disclosure of more confidential information was inevitable.
ちょっと待ってくれ。堂々巡りじゃないかそれ。
大丈夫、問題ないわ。だって最後にはここで暮らした記憶ごと私たちのことを忘れてもらうことにしたから。
Hey, couldn't have done that in the first place.
忘れてもらう？
そう、公園での一件から丸ごと全部忘れてもらう。ルーンっていう魔術系統があるんだけどね。その中でサクッと記憶を忘れさせるものがあるのよ。非人道的であるのは変わらないけど、命を消す代わりに記憶を消すってことで妥協して。
青崎、それは。
悪いけど反論は却下で、肝心の忘却のルーンなんだけど、私もアリスも専門外だから文献を探して習得するのに時間がかかる。
Oh, that's why they can't do it. They don't know how to do it yet.
つまりそれが監視の期限ってわけ。私たちが忘却のルーンを見つけるまで命を担保に口を閉じていてもらうわ。アリスはそんなややこしいことはせずに五感全部壊してしまおうなんて言ってるけど。しずきくん、リビングスタチューとか嫌でしょ？
Soichiro only understood about 80% of what Akko had explained, and the last part about a living statue had gone straight over his head. As he tried his best to visualize what Akko was going on about, but the only thing he could conjure his mind was the image of the mascot creature, Kitsy.
それは確かに嫌だな。
Akko agreed with the bewildered Soichiro, neither one the wiser to the other misinterpretation.
とにかく遅くても1ヶ月で忘却のルーンは見つけ出せるだろうし、1回きりの実行ならプラス2ヶ月ぐらいでなんとかなるわ。それまであんたにはここで暮らしてもらうわけだけど、私たちについて無知のまま歩き回られると命の保証はできないのよ。そっちもこっちの事情を知らないのは気持ち悪いだろうし。なんで今から簡潔に現代の魔法使いの何たるかを教えてあげる。それで少しは私たちへの勘違いもなくなるだろうし。
Not that she thought this country bumpkin had any idea of old or new anyway, the thought brought a smug grin to her lips.
洋館のことは後にして、まずは私たちの立場についてね。あ、でも1から100まで理解する必要はないから。どうせ門外漢なんだし、
Alright, you guys
感じ
ready?
入ったことだけしっかり噛み締めておきなさい。
Big ass tutorial from Nasu. He's gonna explain to us what a mage is. Soichiro nodded obediently to Akko's professional instructions. This was Akko's way of telling him not to ask questions when he did not understand something. And though Soichiro had taken issue with her statement, he meekly obeyed, knowing better than to object now. Akko nodded, approving his attentiveness, and started her lecture. Her long lecture.
まず魔術師、魔法使いの話からね。
Alright, let's do it.
魔術と魔法の違いは宗十郎には関わりのない話だからしないけど、それぞれ別種のものだと思ってくれればいいわ。
Okay.
で、魔術師のことだけど、これは絶対条件として隠された存在でなくてはならないの。同業者に知られるのは仕方ないとしても、あなたみたいに関わりのない人間に知られるのは罪にあたる。ほとんど死罪クラスのね。なぜかっていうと、魔術ってのは隠されていないと力が薄れてしまうものだから。
Okay.
神秘の語源は閉ざすというギリシャ語だけど、魔術は限られた水着でなければ魔術でなくなってしまう。
Okay.
文明にとって未知なるもの、未開なるものは開かれていないからこそ恐怖に値するのと同じね。知られたら迫害されるから隠すじゃないの。未知で亡くなった魔術師というより魔術ね。
Okay.
明かされた魔術は力を弱めてしまう。だから隠匿するのよ。何より私たちの未来のために。
Okay. So that's why They killed all whatever, right? Witnesses. The more people know about the magic, the weaker it becomes. Interesting.
魔術の仕組みはよくわからないけど、とにかく自分だけの秘密でないと弱くなるってことか。じゃあ青崎も弱くなってるのか？俺が見ちゃったから。
いいえ、別に。ここからはちょっと込み入った話でね。
Okay.
弱くなるっていうのはあくまで全体。それも随分と未来の話。個人単位では関係のない話よ。汝陰徳すべしって不分律はこの大元の仕組みが形骸化していつの間にか絶対のルールになっているだけなの。文明社会の法律と一緒よ。犯罪不道徳を罰するのは人間的であろうとする意識の高さと、それとは全く別の全体の仕組みを守るための構造的な結論でしょ。犯罪が罰せられるのは野放しにしたらせっかく築いた社会がうまく機能しなくなるから。で、私たちにとって犯罪にあたるのは神秘の一般化、低俗化であって、不道徳とか殺人とかはまあそれぞれの良心次第ってことで基本的に罪にもならない。
Hold on. I know there's two different things, right? Let me see what she said in the beginning. Magecraft and magic are not the same. That's what she said in the beginning. And now she's saying this. Because I know mystics. What the fuck is Shiki again? The mystic eyes of depth perception, right? So mystics are psychics, right? Psychics and mystics are different than mages. Because that's a talent that they're born with. Versus a mage that have to learn. I think that's the difference. So some shit like that. You gotta reread Tsukihime Prologue, or at least the remake, Tsukihime Remake Prologue. They tell you the difference between a mystic, the psychic, and a mage. Psychics are cooler, in my opinion. And that's what happens in Garden Centers too. There's more psychics there too.
そんなろくでもない連中にルールを敷いたのが魔術協会っていう集まり、組合みたいなものよ。
Okay.
魔術を普及の神秘とせよ。というのは魔術を魔術として永続させるために敷いたルールに過ぎないわ。けどその原則は絶対でさ、これを破った者は魔術世界にはいられなくなる。
Which rule? Make eternal the mysticism of magecraft.
いえ、実際問題として
Keep it a secret.
生きていくのが困難になる。私たちは私たちのまあ魔術師としての命、
Let's keep it a secret.
そういうのを守るために目撃者であるあんたを消さなくちゃいけなかった。そこ同情とかしなくていいから。私たちの事情を知ったぐらいで遊園地のことを帳消しにしないでよ。私たちは私たちの判断であんたを殺そうとしたんだから、誰彼のせいってわけじゃない。恨むならきちんと私を恨んでちょうだい。ま、それはともかく、過去魔術師は職業として成り立ったぐらい社会に認知されていたけど、その魔術自体は墓まで持っていく秘密だった。それがどう歪んだかは知らないけど、現代ではその職業すら秘密にしなくてはならなくなった。そこまでしないと遠い未来、魔術すら消費するだけのものに解体されると教会は恐れたのよ。自然界の仕組みもかつて天上の領域だった宇宙の運営すら私たちは人知で解き明かせるほどになった。 人の手に余るもの。神秘という未知の領域にとって魔術が最後の砦になると教会の設立者は信じたのかもしれない。それとも魔術なんてもう意味がないって達観したのかもね。そんなわけで魔術師はその正体を隠して各々の秘技を伝えていった。他人に教えるわけにはいかないから必然的にその伝承者は子孫になる。私もアリスもそうやって何代か続いた連中の末なのよ。
But since they couldn't pass it on to outsiders, it was only natural to talk to descendant. You know what's curious? You know Kodisuku? He taught Shido magic. That's pretty fucking interesting. And now that they explained it more, I'm like, damn, he taught Shido magic. And Shido didn't have a magic circuit at all, too. That what makes him like such an underdog or whatever you want to call it.
さっき言った魔術協会っていうのはそんな細々と続いてる連中を束ねる一大組織。魔術師にとって司法の神ってところかしらね。
I wonder why Kodisuku never taught Shido his magic, though. Because he didn't have any descendants. Oh, he had Ilya. Well, Ilya doesn't even count. Ilya is part of the Einspurn. So she never really learned Kodisuku magic. Only the Einspurn magic. So I wonder why he didn't taught Shido how to do the cool stuff that he can do.
教会もいろんな派閥に分かれるんだけど、大抵の魔術師はロンドンの魔術協会に属している。汝隠匿すべしっていうのも教会の三大原則の一つよ。魔術師が一般人に秘密を漏らすと教会から罰が下される仕組みになっている。
Oh shit. If a major reveals the secrets of Zephylia. I guess Shido is technically adopted. Is it okay if they're adopted?
そんな罰なんかなくても自分と血族が伝えた魔術のために目撃者は消さないといけないんだけど。
That was the end of the first part of the lecture. I'll go pause for a moment. Soichiro was doing his best to process the information.
次行くけどいい？
Yes, I'm ready.
いいけど、その前に確認したい。
Alright, recap.
魔術師が正体を隠すのは自分のためじゃなく魔術のためだったけど、最近では自分の正体を隠すことの方が重要になっている。そしてその決まりを破ると教会というところからお咎めが来る。
The Mage Association.
つまり青崎たちもその教会に入っているのか？
いいえ、私たちはフリーよ。一応教会とつながりはあるけどね。単純に教会は最大勢力ってだけ。連中は頼まれもしないのに魔術世界全体の秩序を守ってるの。だから私たちが何であれ彼らとの関わりがないにしても魔術師としての決まりを破ったら罰しに来るわ。
わかった。大体飲み込めた。
よしよし。
よしよし。
そうやって自分に必要な部分だけ手に入れなさい。じゃ、次は魔術について。と言っても、私自身語れるほど学んでいないんだけどね。ごめん、こっちの話だから忘れて。
Okay.
さっきも言ったけど、現代において魔術は無意味なものになりつつある。ライターのない大昔なら、火を起こせれば、それは魔術として成り立つわ。けど今は
What?
何かと便利でしょ？あなたならよくわかると思うけど。
Oh, okay, I guess I understand it. You can create fire without making a spark. Hey, is that even possible? Sojiro nodded with a glum look on his face. He had been made painfully aware of such conveniences. Difficult tasks that would occupy an entire day of work in the mountains could be performed easily here. For him, having been brought up in the mountains without electricity or running water, city life was his definition, magic. He only wished it would not be such back-breaking work to adapt to said conveniences.
でも道具を使わずに火を起こせるのは神様の仕事だと思うけど。
そのために積み重ねた手間は火炎放射器を手に入れるより面倒だとしても。
Sojiro wasn't sure how to answer Alko. It would have been easy for him to ask Alko how much accumulated effort she thought it would have taken humans to imitate those gods, but he knew it would come across as an insult.
さっきのを見る限り、魔術ってのは何でもできると思ったけど、それは誤解なのか。
He glanced at the glass bottle on the table. Mentally, he sighed in relief. He still had not come to terms with the fact that he had been trapped inside that tiny thing. However,
あら、それこそ誤解よ。万能じゃなければ誰が魔術なんて学ぶと思ってるの？
Alko puffed out her chest as she chided him.
手間暇かかるけど魔術にできないことはないわ。中にはできていないけどできているように見せるみたいな何らかのイカサマはあるけどね。この世界に生まれた以上、その許容範囲でできないことなんてないの。そこで魔法が出てくるんだけど、それはまた改めて。
Oh, fuck true magic? Oh, fuck. Alright. That's the whole point of this visual novel. True magic.
私が言いたかったのは、魔術は奇跡を起こしているのではなくて、その過程が奇跡だってこと。
It's only process.
結果が奇跡になるのは魔法の方なの。
Oh, yeah. True magic. Yeah.
偉大な魔術師っていうのは、個人の魔術だけで旅客機飛ばしたりする人のこと。対して偉大な魔法使いっていうのは、今不可能なことを可能にする人のことよ。
A great mage versus a magician.
そういった意味じゃ、私たちは最後の魔法使いになるかもしれないけどね。脱線してるわよ、青子。
What she said? We? So Alice too. Alice had been quietly listening until she muttered her rebuke, as if Alko had crossed the line.
そこまで教える必要はないでしょう。しずきくんに教えるべきことは、私たちと暮らす上で危険になることだけじゃなかった。
Oh, fuck. Alice is a magician too.
悪かったわ。ちょい口滑らせた。
What's her nickname?
ともかく、魔術師っていうのは、暇さえあれば魔術の実験をしてる連中で、自分の家系が伝えてきた秘技を守るためなら、鬼でも悪魔にでもなる。
Why did Tosaka say Shido? Isn't I'll let her finish. I kind of want to say it. No, fuck it, I'll say it right now. I already interrupted. Yeah, why did, in Fate Stay Night, why did Tosaka protect the Shido? Yeah, we get it. She liked him. But Tosaka, in my opinion, she seemed like a true to true mage, doesn't she? Like she practiced magecraft every day by herself. She stored magic into her magic crystals. She does everything. She sacrificed her entire life for magecraft. And she knows the rules. Any outsider and witnesser must die. Right? She knows that rule. She was prepared to make peace and say her prayers to whoever died, saying, sorry, you had to witness it, but you had to die. Right? After Lancer killed him. But then when she saw it was Shido, she sacrificed her most valuable item just to save him. But when she saved him, did she not think about it? I have to reread Stay Night. I guess she did thought about it. Like, oh, fuck. Lance is going to kill Shido again. That I revived him. But she didn't think about Shido becoming a witness, though. Of Shido witnessing her with the impossible. Or maybe she knew that maybe Shido didn't see her and the only archer. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe because of that. Because technically, yeah, the master is not supposed to be spotted. Right? It's supposed to be just servant versus servant, and the master hides. I don't know. I have to reread Stay Night. It's been too long.
工房って言うんだけど、
Workshop.
工房も魔術的な機構が積み重なって要塞みたいになっちゃうのよ。秘技を守るために入ってきた相手を問答無用で叩きのめす仕掛けとか。この洋館もそういった工房と同じなの。 不用心に歩き回ってさっきみたいなことになったら私でも助けてあげられないから、暗闇には気をつけなさい。気がついたら鏡の中にいるとか本気であるから。
Sojiro so hoped that they would provide him with a general idea of what to watch out for, but he passed, knowing that he was unlikely to get a straight answer.
枝葉から入っちゃったけど、要は私たちのプライベートに関わるなってこと。いくら最後には記憶を消すって言っても、それを見られた段階で消すしかないものもあるから。
なるほど。この中にもルールがあることはよくわかった。他に注意すべきことは。
His eyes wandered as he trod off mid-sentence, pondering. He understood that the mansion was more dangerous than outside, and the magecraft needed to stay secret. But the explanation seems to contradict his current problem. For starters, how had he managed to witness something that they took such pains to keep hidden?
すまない。話の腰を折るんだけど、魔術師は教会という組織で結ばれてるんだろ？なら、どうして青崎はあんな人形に襲われたんだ？あれの持ち主が魔術師なら、君たちは味方同士で争っていることになる。何か説明が不足していないか？
それは最後にしようと思ってたのよ。
Okay.
普通はここまでの話だけで眉唾者っていうか笑い飛ばすっていうか、いくら経験済みだからって魔術なんてもんをあっさり受け入れるなんてできないっていうか。
Ako scratched her head, as though troubled by how Sojiro could take every word at face value. Across from her, Alice's face betrayed no expression, but she shared the same opinion.
おかしいのかそれ？
おかしいわよ。そもそもあんたは第一ステップから変だった。普通は驚いたり怖がったり無視したりするものなのに、どうして魔法使いだなんて言った私を信じたの？
I don't know. I mean, he did show you shot down the moon, so... In retrospect, this question should have been posed at the House of Mirrors. Back then, though Sojiro was surprised by seeing the phenomenon of magecraft for the first time, he showed no surprise or discomfort toward Ako, the mage wielding it. Feeling the probing stares of the two mages, made Sojiro feel uneasy. From where he was standing, their suspicion was suspicion in and of itself.
なんでも何もない。青崎、山ではね、あるものはあるのが当たり前なんだよ。
Damn, man, I really want to know what the fuck that mountain of his had.
理由をつけられるだけの知識がなかったからにしても、実際に見たものを信じない。それに君も言ったろ。あなたにとっては魔法もライターも同じものなんだろうって。
Thought they weren't really the same to him anymore, he added quietly before shutting up. What he said about those innocent days in the mountains had come from the heart. The words resonated not only Ako Aozaki, but as also Alice Kuwanji. It was something everyone should have principles to stand by. Indeed, this boy, those words were an unshakable truth.
あるものはあるか。
She was impressed, if only slightly. This boy, no matter how much of an outlier he was, could accept the things around him. He would be able to get through this just fine.
そうね。宗十郎はそうなのよね。簡単に信じてもらえることが信じられない。なんて、私たちの方がどうかしてたわ。
Much like when Ako met Sojiro for the first time. In that classroom on his first day, Sojiro took everything that was happening in his stride. The memory brought a bitter smile to Ako's face. Is she going to explain why that puppet was trying to kill her? No? Alright.
じゃ、気を取り直してっと。宗十郎の疑問だけどね。魔術師もいろいろあって、教会に属していない連中もいるの。こういった連中は教会の目を盗んでやりたい放題で、利益目的で他の魔術師に喧嘩を売ってくる。そんな連中にとって、私たちは都合のいい格好のカモなのよ。 私たちは教会と協定関係にあるだけで門下ってわけじゃないから。私たちが殺されたところで教会は助けてくれないしね。
でも魔術師が魔術を使うのは禁じてるんだろ？
それが公にならないのなら教会は目をつむるわ。むしろバレなければ魔術師同士の争いを奨励してるぐらいよ。技
Okay.
術も使わないと錆びるってね。
They encourage fights between mages? What? Oh, you gotta use it. You get arrested. Okay, I
ま
guess.
私たちが襲われてるのはそれとは別の話で、単に土地を持ってるからなんだけど。
土地ってこの家？
まさか。この三崎市一帯の管理地の権利を持ってるのよ、私とアリスは。
管理地ってつまり土地の利権？
Dazzled, Sojiro looked away. Dazzled. This song is good. This is it's classical music. I forgot what's it called. Is this Air on G or whatever? I forgot. I believe so. What's that name I really like? Aria. Aria. He was sure he could see a halo of light around Alco. He had only been renting an apartment for 2 weeks, but he was already aware of how magnificent the prospect of owning land in the city might be.
おお、
The word Sojiro was trying to articulate was rich. He shook all over with an emotion he did not fully grasp.
悪いけど、そういうんじゃないから。私たちで土地って言ったら、魔術師としての霊地の所有権、支配権のことを言うの。うちはマイナーだけど、古くからこの辺りに根を下ろしてた魔術師で、三崎町もうちの管理下ってわけ。管理地っていうのはね、霊的な力が歪んで集まりやすい土地のこと。そういう土地は昔から貴重で、魔術の実践、実験には不可欠でもある。成功への絶対条件は、優れた霊地、堅固な工房、多くの弟子たちってね。魔術師たちにとって、土地付き館付きの住み家を持つのは、一つの野望なんだから。
Sojiro let her continue, while wondering exactly who these two girls were to achieve both ambitions already.
でも、その管理地は大部分が教会に仕切られてて、もう余っている土地はないの。はぐれ魔術師や土地のない魔術師は、教会に毎月寄付金を納めて土地を借りるしかない。
Donation, like a church.
手よく教会のお偉いさんたちに尽くす働き蜂ってところね。
Damn, dude, you know Tosaka. What's Tosaka? Her land is the Fuyuki, right? Fuyuki. Is it because of the Holy Grail? That's why they're allowed to have those land. I think I remember something like that. It was the Matao, Tosaka, and Einspern. But I think the Matao is like they, you know, fell off. So it's just Einspern and Tosaka. But that's for the Grail.
ここの土地は何百年も前から青崎のものだから、教会とは関係がないの。ここまで言えばわかるでしょ。そういったフリーの連中からすれば、私たちの管理地はこの上ないごちそうなんだって。
Sojiro nodded to himself, unsure whether to call the conversation mundane or outright disturbing.
よくわかった。青崎たちは土地の奪い合いをしているんだな。
そういうこと。ただ、岬の管理地はマイナーのさらにマイナーだから、やってくる挑戦者も三流ばっかりよ。今回の敵だって、どっかの三流魔術師が、ここなら楽に奪えると思ってやってきたんだろうし。ま、それもあんたの乱入で休戦してるんだけど。
管理地の話はそれで十分よ、青子。しずきくんも、他に魔術師がいると分かってくれたようだし。
Okay.
危険があるとすれば、私たちの戦いに彼が巻き込まれる可能性だけど。
それは大丈夫でしょ。だってこいつ、 魔力のかけらもないじゃない。魔力感知には引っかからないし、番犬以下の人間は戦力って言わないから、狙われることもないだろうし、私たちはただ忘却のルーンを見つけるまでこいつを逃がさなければいいだけでしょ。
Alice silently stared her partner down. Their ideas of evolving Sojiro differed greatly in both gravity and risk. Ako's life experience had led her to believe that Sojiro would not get directly involved in any fighting. It was an honest and rational thought. Ako despised wasted action, so it was natural for her to expect the same frugality from her enemies. However, those were those in this world who could not tell right from wrong until it was too late.
先のことは誰にもわからないから、その時になって後悔がなければいいけれど。
Well, she got up. With a gloomy sigh, Alice came to her feet.
ちょっと何のために長話したと思ってるのよ。一番重要なあんたの意見聞いてないんですけど。
あなたがあなたの方針を守るというのならそれでいいわ。私も好きにするだけよ。
Alice glided soundlessly to the door. As the girl in black opened it, she paused, barely lit by the dim corridor. Then, without warning, okay. To the rhythm of her footstep, the small glass bottle floated into the air and shattered without mercy.
あの時こうしておけばよかった。
Her sharp tone made Sojito's face go pale. Alice's voice was so quiet, it was hard to tell if she was being serious or mocking him.
私も言い忘れていたけど。
She icily eyed them before turning away, and a voice even colder than her gaze stated,
まだ認めていないから。
Her rigid departure seemed to forebode the many difficulties that lay ahead.
たく、往生際が悪い。
Ako leaned back on the sofa while hurling abusive epithets. Her face looked even more irritated than usual.
見逃すのとここに住まわせるのは別問題よって。じゃあそれ以外にどんな方法があるってのよ。譲る気もなさそうだし、この分じゃ実力行使に出るかもね、あの子。
Sojiro threw a worried glance at Ako while she grumbled. He wondered what Alice showed defiance meant, shattering the glass bottle like she did.
宗十郎には記憶をなくしてもらうってことで話はつけたけど、心の底から納得してないってことでしょ。アリスにしちゃ珍しく他人を意識してたけど、やっぱりここに住まわせるとなると難しいみたい。寝てる分には良かったけど、起きてるあんたを見たらこう、えも言わぬ自虐心を刺激されたとかさ。
What?
気をつけてね、宗十郎。あの子、あんたを殺しに来るかもしれないから。
If anything, Ako warning was an indication that persuading Alice had hit a dead end.
なんか状況はあの夜からあまり変わってないようだね、青崎。
She saw him an unconcerned look and reply.
そうじゃないぞ。青崎の次はあの子がやる気満々じゃないか。さっきみたいな目にあったら逃げることもできない。こういうの生殺しって言うんじゃないか。
そうならないように努力するのね。ま、アリスの理由は遊園地の時ほど切迫したものじゃないから、そのうち諦めてくれるとは思うんだけど。
青崎の時とは違うアリスの理由？
ええ。遊園地の時は秘密厳守のためだったけど、それは一応解決してる。あんたが底抜けに律儀なやつだってのはアリスだってもう分かってるし。なんで秘密厳守云々であそこまで反対する理由はないの。あの子は単にね、ここに住んでほしくないだけなのよ。
Okay. She said so matter-of-factly, her eyes cold and serious. Sojiro had hoped for a trace of deceit or exaggeration, but alas.
確かにあの子はそんな素振りだったけど、変だね。それならもっと他の手段を取ればいいのに。
Perhaps feeling guilty about putting Alice out, Sojiro looked uncharacteristically concerned. Ako immediately knew what his words really meant.
例えば記憶を消す魔術が見つかるまでさっきの小瓶の中に閉じ込めておくとか。
The empathy in her voice until now was gone. Sojiro answered with a simple nod. In truth, it was undoubtedly the easiest solution for all parties concerned. However,
宗十郎、私約束は破らないの。覚えておいて。
she hated taking the easy way out, and that quiet fury was clear in her soft words. As for a word that fury was directed, Sojiro was acutely aware. The pain in his chest made him regret making her say those words.
すまない。考えが足りなかった。
His suddenly apology caused her usual sullen expression to return. Ako had not appreciated how angry she was, let alone the reason for it. To her, his apology had came out of nowhere.
あんたってほんとわかんないわね。なんでそこで謝るのよ。
She stared at Sojiro, unblinking.
あれそうだな。自分でもよくわからない。多分、そういう気分になったからだろう。
Even in saying that he was not sure, Sojiro had answered honestly. Ako was at a loss for words.
ただ、青崎の言いたいことは分かった。約束を守るっていうことは、結果じゃなく、家庭を守るってことなんだな。
He shot her a brazenly honest smile. That smiling face, filled with blissful ignorance, almost made her smile back instantly.
当たり前じゃない。オチだけ合ってればいいなんて恥ずかしくてできないでしょ。
Ako attempted to cover for embarrassment with a quick retort. Though unintentional, having a true feeling exposed like that made Ako a little uncomfortable. Finding offense in something was second nature to Ako. Being made to feel uncomfortable was not. Though far from being unhappy at the remark, she turned away from the speaker. To disguise her perceived shame, Ako started up the conversation again.
あなたを見逃すって言うなら気持ちの問題じゃなくてちゃんと状況もそうなるようにするのは当たり前なの。宗十郎をここに住まわせることがあの約束を守ることになるんなら厄介なアリスだって言い伏せるわよ。脅かすだけならまだしもずっと瓶漬けなんてさせられるわけないでしょ。
そっか。青崎があの子を説得しない素振りなのは、もうできるだけの説得をした後だからなのか。あ、それで彼女とは冷戦中なんだ。
別にあんたのためじゃないわ。私は私のために約束を守ってるだけだし。お察しの通り、私のやるべきことはもう終わってるし。あとはそっちが努力する番だから勝手にすれば。
Huh? He replied, tilting his head.
あのね、いい？同居案を何とか認めさせることができるのは私だけだから、2日間ぶっ通しでアリスを言い伏せもした。けどそれ以上は無理。私、ここから先はノータッチだから。
No touchy?
しばらくはアリスから守ってあげるけど、その間にあの子にあんたを認めさせることは、あんたにしかできないんだからね、宗十郎。
なんと
Sojiro had not expected that at all. Alice Kowanji, the girl in black who kept everyone at arm's length. If Ako was a modern-day mage in hiding, then Alice was a bona fide witch from the Middle Ages.
青崎、君自分がどれだけ難しいことを言ってるか分かってるか。
そうね。私もこの件に関してだけは同情するわ。
Ako stood up from the sofa. This was the end of the discussion, at least for now.
私たちがどんな人間かはおおよそ分かったでしょ。魔術に関してはこれ以上立ち入らない方があんたのためだから、説明はここまでね。で、肝心の今後の方針だけど、3ヶ月間ここで暮らす。
Damn, 3 months.
当初の目標というより最初の試練は、なんとかアリスに同居人として認めてもらうこと。
試練って言った。今そういう類のことを言った。
ごまかしてもいいことないでしょ、この手のことは。うまくいかなきゃ粉々なわけだし。
With a cold-blooded remark, Ako started walking towards the door.
あ、そうそう。宗十郎の部屋だけど、3階に用意しといたから。 2階のホールの裏側に階段があるから使って。ここは寮ってわけでもないし、時間は自由に使いなさい。ただし、西館にだけは入らないようにね。東館は私が借りてるから比較的安全だけど、それでも歩き回らない方が無難だわ。
Let's see. So his room's at the third floor. So on the second floor. He can't go to the east or west wing, especially west.
基本安全なのはあんたの部屋とここだけよ。
中の説明ってまさかそれだけ？青崎はいろいろおかしい。魔術なんかよりもっと大事な説明があると思う。
He desperately called out to her as she began to leave the drawing room. Ago could not help but pity Sojiro.
せめてほら、案内とか。
面倒なんでパス。おのぼりさんを案内するなんて2回もやれば十分よ。起きたばっかりだし、とりあえず今日は部屋で休んだら。朝になったら学校まで案内してあげるから。もっとも、私もそう暇じゃなし。そばについてあげられるのは、期末試験が終わるまでってことで。1週間以内にアリスと仲良くなるなり、弱みを握るなりしないと。まあ、あれよね。
Within a week. Okay. With barely a wave of goodbye, the student council tyrant walked out. He unconsciously clenched the hand he had raised. Left all alone, he was at a complete loss. Then, as if to encourage him, with the sound of lightly fluttering wings, a blue robin appeared out of nowhere. The tiny, chubby bird instantly looked Sojiro up and down. The blue robin, a bird said to bring happiness according to folklore, flapped its little wings as if to cheer him on. Then, with a flutter, it mercilessly flicked off the lights. Leaving Sojiro alone in the drawing room, Ako returned to her bedroom. She closed the door to her room, and as soon as she sat on her bed, she was overcome with an unexpected wave of exhaustion. Sojiro had no way of knowing, but she had been preparing for war. In the event that Alice impulsively pulled out a ploy, Ako had to be ready to react in an instant. She sighed heavily, but not from the fatigue she felt at fighting with
ちょっと
Alice.
突っぱねすぎたか？
She frowned a dejected frown. What weighed on Alco's mind was not Alice.
でも甘くするのはあいつのためにならないし。基本おとなしくしてもらった方がいいわけだし。
It would be trouble if he wandered around like he owns the place after all. The safest thing for him would be if he holed up in his room, too scared out of his wits to leave it.
青崎は味方だなんて勘違いされても困るしね。アリス同様、人手なし扱いされた方が楽だわ。
She nodded to herself, agreeing with her to take on the situation. For the most part, it sounded like a plan. If there were a problem, it would be this.
すまない青崎。一つ聞きたいことがあるんだが。
Not 10 minutes had passed since leaving him in the drawing room. For Sojiro to shirk off of what had said and visit her room so fast, it's like he had no sense of danger at all.
実は外に出たいんだ。
Okay. Of course he would ask to leave the house. Ako lacked the energy of a sarcastic barb.
洋館の中は歩き回らないし、用を済ませたらきちんと戻ってくる。ただ、門限とかあったら聞いておこうと思って。
でも、ア
Okay.
ルバイトには行くのよね。
How did you know? Sojiro exclaimed in surprise. But it was Ako who decided to display her shock at him.
まあいいわ。
Oh, really?
基本、午後10時まで。その時間には必ず屋敷にいること。その後は夜勤に出かけるなり、庭でバーベキューするなり、何でも好きにしていい。
Okay.
それと、玄関に鍵はかかってないから。
気のせいじゃなければだけど。青崎、 すごく怒ってないか？
Oh, she let him work. That's
あ
cool.
んた相手に気を使った自分に呆れ果ててるだけよ。外に出るのはいいけど、その前にこの錠剤飲んで。
ん？
Sojiro took the purple pill from an outstretched hand and dubiously put it in his mouth. He told himself that it's some kind of
それ
medicine.
じゃあ行ってくる。いろいろありがとう、青崎。
あっそ。今度は窓から出ていかないでよね。
Sojiro laughed himself all the way to the foyer, unsure of what exactly he had found funny. Akko watched him go, both indifferent and amazed all at once.
予定が半日早まっただけか。あの薬を飲ませるの、明日の朝にしてあげようと思ったのに。
She huffed, ruffling her hair in exasperation, and returned to her room. Discerning what made Sojiro tick was a waste of brain matter. In all likeliness, he was more concerned about missing 2 days of work than his own well-being after being bedridden for 2 days. I mean, he gotta make money, man. It's not like he's gonna stay there forever, right? With a day's work behind him, Sojiro returned to the mansion.
よし。どこを探しても、2階のホールから上がれる階段はここだけだ。
It was just before midnight. This was the scene that awaited him beyond the rickety staircase.
ほ
Not much surprised Sojiro, or rather being surprised had become normal to him. The scene, however, was enough to leave him speechless. The room allotted to Sojiro. No matter how he looked at it, no matter how he ran it through his mind, was without a shadow of doubt an attic.
う。
The treatment stirred a tinge of anxiety in him. Just as he was about to plop into the taut sheets of his bed, wondering if he could make his work despite his share of other problems, he noticed an awkward courtesy so meager as to be useless.
寒かったら重ねて使うこと。これはサービスとする。
Why should give him a blanket? The message in the memo pointed to the meticulous personality of the author. The bed had been perfectly prepared. Carefully setting aside the blanket that had been painstakingly placed on the edge of the bed for him in case he needed it, he looked up at the sky. Though faint, the stars twinkled through the skylight. For a mountain boy, that meager light was more than enough for him. The stark contrast to the drawing room had caught him off guard, but now he had collected himself. It was not so bad. His room fit his personality. Even if he was not used to the building, he felt more at ease here than he did in the building in the city. Perhaps because it was built on a hill surrounded by woods. The atmosphere here was a little closer to the mountains where he used to live.
でも、家の中に霧が出るのはどうなんだろ
He crooked his neck, pondered over the spectacle he had witnessed. On the way to his room, Sojiro had encountered what looked like fog in the foyer on the second floor. The misty fog drifted into a portion of the corridor, reminded him of the swarms of mosquito. As he stared at it, he swore he could make out a strange landscape as he moved closer to get a better look. Again, out of nowhere, here in the mansion, a little blue bird darted purposely in front of him.
う。鳥？
The bird caught his attention, stopping him on his tracks. When he looked to check in the fog again, the strange scene had disappeared.
この家、隙間でもあるのかな？明日青崎に聞いてみるか。
He muttered to himself as he sat on the bed. Meager as it was, the starlight peeping in through the starlight calmed him.
これなら。
Exhaling slowly, he laid down. For the time being, he had the essentials needed to live, and his bed was many times softer than it appeared. Thinking his worries seemed smaller than they were, he quickly drifted off to sleep. That was the story from when he opened his eyes to when he fell asleep. Just like that, the short night followed the long night was over. For one thing was true. Sojiro was an optimist to a fault. But it wasn't the end of the world. Now let us rewind 5 hours prior to his gluten. What is gluten? For punishment, going to his bed. I think it's a good stopping point, right? Usually I want to finish the chapter, but... Oh, fuck. Is this save? Oh, it's a book. Visual novel. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, it's midnight, man. I have, I want to say school. I don't know why I always say school tomorrow. I'm too fucking old to be saying I have school tomorrow. Unless I'm a teacher or whatever. I have work tomorrow. Or today, I guess, at this point. So, I gotta call it quits here. I don't know how long this will be. But anyway, I did like the explanation that Aoko explained. I learned more about the Nasuverse and mages. That's really cool. And true magic for sure. True magic has been only discussed a little bit in Fate Stay Night. Not a little bit. A couple, I think, in Fate Stay Night. But I don't think it ever got explored like that in this visual novel. That's what I'm hoping for, to learn a little bit more about that. Anyway, appreciate when that stopped by. It's been cool. We'll play more Mihoyo next time. GG's, GG's, GG's. GG's. Oh, fuck. Did I save? Hope I did. Alright. Put some magical music. Damn, this song's so good. Bum, 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 bum. What's food? No new food? How about fast food? Look, Seizure. Alright, yeah. I could look at it. What they got? Pepperoni pizza? What the fuck is that? Spider-Man. Oh, everyone's hype about the new Spider-Man movie. I forgot about that shit. I won't watch it. If I want to be honest. I probably won't watch it. Because I'll either have to watch it in theaters or Disney, right? I'm not getting Disney, so fuck Disney. But yeah, that's cool. What else I have? Zaxby's. I saw that. That's that bacon ranch stuff. Not a lot of food news. Cars. There we go. What? Cosplay? You can buy her dress? It looks cheap. It doesn't look good compared to the, the real thing. Doesn't look good. But it's kind of cool, I guess. What's this? That's, alright, Neon Droid. Finish the Animalith closed demo. I'm not a big fan of anime games, if I want to be honest. Anime games is never my thing. Even though I keep buying them. The only thing I like about anime games is probably just JRPGs. That's it. Animal Herb visual novel, Neko Mimi Sweet Housemates, Volume 2. No thanks. Pasu. We have 50 most played demos. Oh, Steam Fest, isn't it? 2 years anniversary. Cool. Astro Project, Pokemon. I don't care about Pokemon. Blue Lily. Caligula. In fact, didn't it came out with a Caligula anime and it wasn't good? At least that's how I remember it. Persona. Damn, Persona's with Sega. Alright. Congratulations. 14th anniversary. It's been 2 years since the replica of Roland Sword Durandal since it be lodged in the stone for 1300 years. Reported missing. Someone took the fucking sword. A replica of the sword. Oh fuck. Okay. That's kind of funny. Damn, Emiya Gohan is still going. That's kind of crazy to still have Emiya Gohan. That's crazy. Let's see. There was something I wanted to check. Oh yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Check the wish list. Then this didn't go on sale? Oh man. It didn't go on sale. I'll still probably buy it. I guess, but I guess what price? Everyone's talking about the Steam, whatchamacallit. Everyone don't like it, right? Because it's like $1,000. Is it on the thingy? Damn, that's not this is Steam back. Let me see. Just in case. I just want to see. Okay, cool. It doesn't show any info, you know. It's okay. So I clicked on it. Yeah, that shit's expensive as fuck, dude. 1K? That's insane. Let me see. AMD. CPU and GPU. AMD. That's really, really expensive. 512 SSD. Micro SD card slot. What the hell? Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Ethernet, integrated Steam controller adapter. I think $1,000 is a lot, right? Doesn't the spec seems kind of shitty for $1,000? I think this seems pretty shitty. They have a controller, extra 100. Let me see this one. It's the same processor. What? It's the same processor and GPU and RAM. 16. Just 2 terabyte. Walnut. This seems extremely expensive for what it's supposed to be. Right? Shouldn't this shit be like $500? It's so. That's like a ripoff. Or maybe I'm not fully understanding. Let me see. What is this? Is this good? Is this good? I don't know. Enough for 4K 60 FPS gaming. Base PS5. I gotta read. I don't know. I feel like, is it good? I don't even know, man. I'll think about it more. I don't even play any games like that, right? Because I always do kind of wanted a separate PC for gaming, but obviously that's too expensive now. You can build your own. Let me see. NVIDIA? Linux. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can build your own. What do other people think about the Steam machine? I think it seems kind of, I don't know, expensive. Yeah, 1.5K. It seems expensive. Yeah. So much bullshit. Man, the world sucks right now. the real doom isn't now's the worst time to buy this, but now's the best time it'll ever be again to buy this. Maybe not to previous level, but they're good cheaper. It's very realistic that in a couple of years you'll be able to get an upgraded Steam machine with slightly lower prices that isn't slower than 2020 era PS5. Better software too. Damn, dude. Oh, fuck. PS5 came out 2020. It's trading blows over PS5. Oh. Okay. I didn't think about it like that. That's what AI said though. Can I trust AI? Damn. That shit is so much more expensive than the PS5. It's not even better than the PS5. I should have bought a fucking computer 3 years ago, right? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? I should have bought a computer 5 years ago. Oh wait, I did. Oh yeah. Oh man. Damn, technology sucks. I feel outdated already. Oh man. PC gamers are dedicated. Much better. I know hardware prices fuck them, but sometimes it's better to just wait it out rather than release a mediocre box with a 1%. Dude, that's so expensive, dude. 1 grand. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't care about 2026 inflation. 1 grand is still a fucking lot. Twice the price. It's twice the price of a more powerful PS5, underpowered and overpriced. If this thing will announce another company, it's the biggest meme of the year. There, the mere mention of buying a PS5 instead, it makes people go to rage mode. Dude, 1,000 is a lot. You can get a legit PC for 1,000, can't you? I don't know about today's prices, I guess. I haven't checked. Well, I guess I could check. Let's go to a computer website, right? I know this one, iBuyPower. Alright, let's go to just some random shit. Okay. Let's get a pre-built PC. How about that? Damn, okay, that's a lot. Okay. Let's go to low to high. Oh, fuck. Really? The lowest is like 1,000? What? Alright, maybe I haven't been watching the market like that. Really? That's the cheapest you could get? But it can do a lot more than just fucking gaming though, right? It's a legit PC. Let's see what it has. Well, Windows 11 is a downgrade for anything versus Linux. Let's see. 5050. What was the Steam graphics card? I gotta check out the graphics card again. That one. 20 ECUs. How much memory is that? Versus NVIDIA. Let's see. Let's do this one. Just go like that, right? They're both 8 gigs VRAM. Oh, that's the wrong one. What was the other one? This one. 50-50. It's 50-50. 8 gigs. 8 gigs of VRAM. I don't know what to think about that. At least for me, that's not enough. But that's because I stream too. That's why I need more. Because my entire OBS uses my graphics card. It doesn't use my CPU anymore. Last time I used my CPU, it fucking killed me. I can't really do shit. Let's see, 16 gigs, 1 terabyte. At least this one you get fucking 1 terabyte. Dude, what was the one in Steam? 512 gigabytes fucking... I don't even know. How big is it? How big is Warzone? Does it tell you? 125 gigabytes. I guess, yeah, alright. 512 is not bad. That's a couple of games. That's a lot of games, right? You can always delete and download too, I guess. That's that. Okay, 512 is not bad. 16 is not bad. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. Alright, looking at today's market, because this is like a pre-build. So, and 1 terabyte though, that's pretty good. Asus, Intel 16, Intel. And this comes with Windows 11, which is bullshit. Windows 11 suck ass. Then that's the cheapest one too. Damn, dude, it is expensive as fuck. That's the cheapest one. Why my nose hurts so much? What the fuck? Nose hurts really bad. How much is the RAM itself? Let me see. Can I upgrade? Alright, let's just do this. Gaming PCs. How do you do custom build? Can I do a custom build? Let's do AMD. Alright, let's do the cheapest one. Let's make it edit. How much RAM? If I want 32, it's not bad. Plus 280. 96 gigabyte of RAM. That's if I'm a fucking graphic designer or some shit. But 32-bit, 32 gigabytes is always pretty good. I had to get 32 myself because I don't do it as much as I used to. That's when I used to try to upload shit. I do a lot of video editing back then. Not anymore. Plus 400? Oh, that's 64. 200. I don't know. How much is RAM? How much is RAM in 2026 compared to... Let's do 2022. Let's see. No, I'm not talking about the goddamn truck, Google Gemini. Yeah, what was the price of RAM? Actually don't know. 80. It's 440 in EU? What the fuck? That can't be right. Can it? 65. It's 350 bucks? 65 USD. Holy shit. Is that real? Oh fuck. Dude, that's like a lot. Guess I didn't know. What? 1200? This guy's making up bullshit. Hey, where's Look at this one. New egg. What the? Look at a new egg. I'm curious. Go fuck yourself. Components. Memory. Should be memory, isn't it? Desktop. Yeah. Damn, dude. This shit used to be like 85 bucks. 32 gigs. 216. 413. So Steam is offering 16, right? 16. Damn, dude, like 200 bucks. Damn. Fuck. Shit's expensive. I guess, yeah. Alright, maybe the Steam machine's not as expensive as I thought it would be. I mean, it's still fucking 1,000 bucks. It's still a lot, but fuck, dude. The average PC is so expensive. I don't even know. I don't know what to say. Fuck. Damn, everything's not. Then computer used to start like at 500. Maybe, I don't know. I'm like old. Maybe. This shit's expensive. My computer is like the lowest price. And they got pretty decent shit. I have yeah, I have some pretty decent shit, dude. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. Oh man. Damn, dude, it's expensive as fuck. Whatever. That's just a pre-build. I'm looking at pre-builds too. I'm not really looking at the thing, but that's because that's compared to Steam Machine. I guess this is not that bad in the grand scheme of things, right? And current today prices. Because this is a bona fide fucking computer. We have a Linux OS. I wonder how smooth it is. That's the real shit. I don't know what the I'm not familiar with AMD, so I don't know how good this shit is. Only 8 gigs? Well, you're not streaming. You're just playing games. I wonder how much VRAMs it really use for gaming. I don't know. 16 gigabyte of RAM is pretty good, I guess, for gaming. Not like you're making videos. This is just for gaming. I gotta think about it for just solely for gaming and nothing else. It's not bad in terms of spec. It's just so expensive, but it's expensive from my mindset. I'm still stuck in 2020. This is 2026 prices. That's a lot. It's still a lot, but it's 2026. Dude, that's a lot just to play games though, man. I guess I'm not thinking of it because I'm not a gamer. Maybe. That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. Isn't the whole point of a Steam machine is for scrubs like me to play pretty decent because I can't afford a good ass PC. Isn't that the point? I guess a good ass PC nowadays is $2,000, right? Damn. 4K gaming at 60 FPS? I don't give a fuck about 4K gaming, dude. What about 1440? How much frames will I have? A giant brick? No giant brick. Right in it. Oh, you could just put it on your fucking monitor like that? Oh, you could do the same with a PS5 though. It is kind of nice. I do like the form factor. It's just a fucking cube. So you can put shit on top of it. You know people's gonna put shit on top of it. I'm gonna put shit on top of it. It is pretty nice for the form factor. I wish. Damn, dude, that's what I would have been doing. I'm gonna put the fucking cube there. Just fucking play right there. Oh, I would need a fucking capture card though to capture it, obviously. It's a PC? You can install apps? I don't know. That's a PC. I don't know if it's good though. At least for my use. But I don't know. The micro SD stuff is kind of cool. You can put another terabyte in there for like, if it's a micro SD, yeah, you can put another terabyte for like $200. Oh, that's a lot. Well, I have another terabyte anyway. Oh wait, I'm already using it on my tablet. Damn, I should have bought it before it got expensive again. Fuck. Well, it's too late. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm still having difficulties understanding how fucked up the world is and expensive it is. So I don't know if this is a good pricing or not. All I know is this is way outside what I could afford. Or what I'm willing to pay for. This is like, I wouldn't even spend $500 on a PS5, dude. The fuck? That's $1,400, because that's gonna be with tax. Right, you definitely gonna need a controller. Damn, dude, that's like $1,500. That's a lot. That's a lot, dude. Is it a lot? 2026? I can't tell anymore. I don't know. It's out of my league. I can't afford that. I'm not getting one. I would have liked one, but I'm not getting one. Unfortunately. I would have liked one. That sucks. Oh well. I'm just gonna play visual novels anyway. I don't know what the next stream gonna be. But if I do play or stream in the weekdays, I'll probably play Schrodinger Call. Just to check it out while it's game of the year. If I stream on the weekend, I might play more Mihoyo. This is more of a weekend game. And maybe Monday if I have time, obviously, like today. And then I'll play Schrodinger on the weekday. This is supposed to be like a 10-hour game, so I'll play the quick games on the weekday and play like the long ass visual novels on the weekend, right? I think that's good. Anyway, I appreciate everyone that stopped by. Damn, man, Steam Machine's fucking expensive. And I have Magikoi. Let's watch it one more time. One more time. We can watch it one more time. I got Magikoi working. I'm so fucking happy. I'm gonna play it. I don't know when I'm gonna play it. I'll play it when I play it, I guess. But alright, let's watch it one more time. Because I feel like it. And then I'll call it a day. Watch this before I go to sleep. Damn, dude. I got this to work. Damn, dude. I can't wait to play this. You know what's even better? You know what's better than this? Hold on. You know what's even better? Hold up. Visual novel. Where is it? Over here. How you do it again? I gotta put my computer in Japanese. Yes. Play. Japanese only, boys. Does it work? Is it working? Did I do it right? Fuck, I fucked up. God damn it. Did it broke? Oh my god, please work. How do you make it work again? Oh god. Ah, come on, man. Yes.
港ソフ
Oh shit. Ah, fuck it. That works it. Oh shit. We got this to work! We got this off though! Damn, I can't wait to beat Mihoyo. I want to play this next. I gotta play the other three though, right? I gotta play A5, the Margaret After Story, and this one. Fan disc. A+. A+ is last. I don't remember Cookie in a dress like that. Damn, dude. Hundreds of girls. Not 100, but there was a lot. Damn, we haven't played A5 yet. I gotta get A5. I don't got that one yet. I'll get A5 on the weekend. It's too hard to download right there. It'll take me forever. It'll take me like 3 hours. It took me like 30 minutes just to get this one. Damn, dude. I remember that. Damn, dude. Oh man, Majikoi is so fucking good. I love Majikoi. That's such a good series. It's so good, dude. So
マ
good.
ジで大友に恋してみよ
Damn,
プ
dude.
ラスディスク
Dude, you don't know. I was so happy when I got this shit working. Like, I fucking jumped out my seat. Fucking, I was like, woohoo! I don't woohoo to anything. I don't remember when's the last time I even woohoo anything. I fucking jumped the seat. Woohoo! Majikoi! Got that shit working. Dude, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I gotta beat Mihoyo first, but once I do, we back in there, boys. Machi Day? What's it? Watashi no Koshinasai.
ゲーム終了するのかお疲れ様だな
Damn, Kurisu.
それで本当に私と買い物に行くのですか？
I don't know
お嬢さん
her.
ああ自分がフィーネさんの服を選んでみるクリスコーディネートが火を吹くぞ
Okay.
フリフリとかヒラヒラとか
Okay.
そういうのを挑戦してみよう
フリフリ。
Damn, man. Oh. Oh, man. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good when we play. Oh. I gotta beat Mihoyo, though. That's one visual novel at a time. Anyway. Yeah, I'll play that. I don't know. Sometime this year. Not soon, but sometime this year. Anyway. I appreciate when that stopped by. It's been cool. I got work today, technically. It's midnight. So it's Tuesday. So I gotta go to sleep. Anyway. I'll probably play Schrodinger Call sometimes in the weekday. And then we'll play Mihoyo on the weekend. So that's probably the game plan for now. And anyway, I appreciate when that stopped by. It's been cool. I'm gonna head out. Have a good night. Later. Bye.